Everybody, let's get started. Let's get to Alright, what's up everybody? It's your boy Zulu, as always. So guys, today we are going to be talking about the HUD, limited HUD, and HUD options that players want to utilize in Ghost Recon Wildlands. I'm going to be talking about my personal preferences and the difficulties I go through when trying to play Ghost Recon Wildlands without a HUD. And in the background, you guys are going to be seeing HUD gameplay, you know, full HUD on, just to see like just how intrusive it is to everything going on around you, and just having too many UI elements on the screen, as well as like just giving me unnecessary information, like telling me exactly where my enemies are on the map, making a little marker on my screen for every little thing I see, like each and every enemy, or just anything and everything. I feel like Ubisoft needs to find a way to limit the HUD, and that should have been more of a priority when they were optimizing the game, and when they made it. It shouldn't be this intrusive, and there should be way more options to find the right style of HUD for each individual player to limit certain options and make the game just feel a little bit better and easier to play. I feel like that in this game, when we play it, we need to be able to customize every marker. And the fact that it took weeks for the update to come out for consoles and PC, to where Intel HUD just got put into the game, which was extremely intrusive to the gameplay, because you couldn't even, if you had your HUD turned off, you wouldn't even be able to choose what type of intel it was you were collecting when you were interrogating, or, you know, finding files and stealing information from them. You couldn't even choose what type of information you wanted from people. You can see it on screen. It just popped up there where I was talking to the old guy. Like, that doesn't make any sense for that to be a main gameplay element, and for you not to be able to utilize it, because it seems like a limited HUD elements or no HUD at all in this game came, like, I guess they just weren't worried about it as much, and that just shows me that it really wasn't, the game wasn't optimized for a limited HUD or no HUD at all, because they could have played the game themselves when they had it over at the studio and seen that that was a problem. So I don't see what happened there. You know, playtesters, anyone should have been able to catch that if they played 15 minutes of the game. But anyway, yeah, so it doesn't feel like it was optimized at all. And for this to be a tactical shooter or military simulator game, or, you know, people say that they should take it back to old Ghost Recon and then this is what we get, you would think that something like that would be more prevalent instead of what we have here. But maybe that's just me. You know, this isn't Ghost Recon Future Soldier. We shouldn't be having a display element on our screen like we have on a fucking Future Soldier helmet that tells us every little thing happening out here on the battlefield. You know, this is modern day military shooter, where it's supposed to be, you know, somewhat realistic and authentic to what you'd actually see if you were out there in Bolivia. If you do see anything that I forget to mention, or if you realize I didn't say some things that bugged you about the HUD elements or serious gameplay elements that are not made or not utilized fully because of the HUD elements getting in the way, please make sure to leave a comment in the description. I'm sure there's stuff I forgot about, but I just want to say stuff that I have my own personal gripes about that come to mind on this video. Alright, so first off, we are going to be talking about the enemy markers. Enemy markers are the most plentiful of HUD elements you'll see, because they pop up every time you see a person, and they're just everywhere. I want to say that I realize some people might not have a problem with the enemy markers, because there's a lot of enemies in this game, and the map areas we play in are pretty large sometimes, so sometimes it's helpful to see an enemy marker. I can get that. I can understand that. But a big reason for me, man, like, I don't want enemy markers, and I'm going to tell you why. I would not need enemy markers if there weren't civilians every fucking where in this game. When I say every fucking where, I mean every fucking where. I can't think of one engagement I've ever gotten in where there weren't civilians. You would think for some of these locations where we're going and fighting, and we're deep in enemy bases, and we're doing all this extra shit, and we're in some drug lord's crib. There wouldn't be civilians everywhere 24/7 of the time. Like, I've seen civilians at the enemy's base, inside the base, at the enemy's house, walking up and down mountains. And it's like, really, I mean, you might say, oh, they're just going about their daily life. Like, first of all, there would not be that many civilians in the area, in the areas they are. There wouldn't be, there wouldn't be that many of them. Sometimes they wouldn't be there or shouldn't be there at all. Then half the time it seems like they're in that area for no reason. And then when you do start shooting, they don't run away screaming and flailing and just like, oh, what's going on? They sit there and they cower, or they run directly in your line of fire. And your AI, if you're playing with your AI teammates, they're like, oh, watch your flames of fire, or what the fuck, man? Why are they running deeper into the enemy base? Why are they running in front of my line of sight? Why are they running into next to a cartel dude that has an AK-47 in his hands, and then I shoot the civilian and the guy, or I just shoot the civilian? Like, it's like a lot of the shit that happens with these civilians doesn't make any fucking sense, and they don't need to be where they are half the time. And besides that, I just want to say that little hit marker sound you get, that shit pisses me off. Like, it's enough that there's already the little red element that shows you that someone's looking at you. Because, like, man, I do not need it. I especially don't need that little hit marker sound. That shit pisses me off, and it's annoying to hear every time. Like, someone's looking at you, it's like, it's annoying. Like, Jesus, that needs to stop. This is not Call of Duty, bro. I have eyes. Like, let me play the game. Don't be fucking making a noise every time something happens in the game. And that little warning sign that someone's looking at you or something like that, honestly, I don't want or need that either. And I want that to be able to be turned off, just as well as the marker for each enemy you see. I don't need it. It's unnecessary in my opinion. Now, I'm going to cut the video for just a second. I want you guys to look at these two clips of Rainbow Six, because I feel like Rainbow Six is the prime example for a game based in realism. I'm going to show you guys these two clips where you can see what's happening around you, and the only sounds you're going to hear are going to be gunshots, and you're going to see blood. You're not going to need to fucking have a little hit marker or hear a little sound every time you shoot someone or someone's looking at you, and there's no type of warning indicators on the screen to let you know someone's looking at you. It's just you paying attention to the environment around you. Now, you guys might argue that, it's close quarters combat in Rainbow Six, so of course, in the game like this where it's open world, you're going to need to have indicators to where enemies are. But I would disagree with you and say you just got to up your game and shit. Alright, here are the clips. Late night when you need my love, used to call me on my cell phone. And Rainbow Six Vegas 2.
Oh shit, how am I getting shot from the back? Ah!
No plan. Oh. Ain't no problem then. Ah, shit. They stay out here with them flashbangs. Bitch. Baby back, bitch. Ooh, laid him out. Okay, so where the bitch is at? I'm trying to get a headshot, so I didn't kill him. Trying to get that head popped out. Getting a headshot in this game, I might have to. Oh, okay, I barely got that headshot, man. That's a lot more work than I thought it'd be. Now, just in case you're wondering what it was I was trying to show you guys with those two clips, the point of me showing you guys with those two clips is that we don't need as many HUD elements, especially when it comes to enemies and alerting us to their presence, as it looks like we're given in this game.
If you act like it is, it will believe it that it will become the truth.
They're gonna make you back up.
Perico isn't here.
Alright, so now I would like to think that some of you guys have been convinced that all the enemy indication markers, as in the visual red marker on the screen, and then all the sounds where, you know, they're detecting you, and then there's like a little sound, like it's a pop for, you know, oh, this motherfucker's a guy coming in here with an assault rifle and a fucking sniper rifle. He might have to, you know, I might have to shoot him. Like, all that shit's unnecessary. So to get past that, now we're going to talk about location markers. So location markers are the waypoints you set down whenever you're heading toward an objective, or you set just a player marker, just some village you want to go to, or a supply drop, or, you know, just supplies, whatever the case may be. And when you have your HUD turned off, you cannot see shit. Like on your minimap or anything, you don't know where the fuck it is you're going. You have no idea at all. That's why location markers absolutely need to be a completely separate marker that you can toggle on and off. Now, ultimately, I want to say that each of these markers should be able to be turned on and off. That's what I'm ultimately trying to get at. I'm just providing different examples. Next up, markers that show your objective. This is great. I might put up on screen. I'm not sure if I want to do that yet. But the perfect example for this is the 3 military instructors that you have to kill in Montuyak. So if you have your HUD turned off, you don't know what your objective is, if it's a person, and they don't tell you, you know, like to steal a vehicle or to blow up a chopper or something like that, and you get to the location, you don't know what your objective is if it's not something as obvious as that. If it's something like, oh, find this lieutenant inside the base or something like that, you're not going to know unless there's some kind of super good audio cue from your character or one of theirs that that's the guy. Like, if you look at your drone, if you look in your binoculars, you can look directly at the guy. It's not going to be any type of visual confirmation that that's the person or the objective you came here for. You just have to know if your HUD's turned off. That's why there needs to be an objective HUD element that you can turn on and off by itself, like a marker. That's what I meant to say. An objective marker, because otherwise you're just going to be kind of turn around like not knowing what the fuck to do, and you're going to be asking your teammate, and it's just going to be really confusing. I legitimately played this mission the other day in Montuyak, and I had to keep changing my HUD settings to be able to play the game and know what my objective was and what 3 enemies I was looking for in these 2 bases beside one another. I don't really want enemy... Well, does it make sense to have enemy markers on?
Yeah.
I mean, the only markers I really want are for, like, areas we're
They're on
going
my
to.
side.
Clean up and move on.
That's the only shit
I do the
really
enemy
want on.
markers so you know where you're fucking going to.
Yeah, location markers, that's it. The rest of the shit is just stupid. Now, something I want to talk about lastly is that an alternative for navigation markers, this is something cool I didn't think about, but I saw it on the Ubisoft forums. It's something that a user on the forum suggested. His name is KNPSN. Now, what he suggested was pretty smart, and it's a good alternative to making everything its own marker that you can toggle on and off, but I think my idea is just as viable. Now, I'm going to go ahead and read off what he said we should do. New minimap display HUD option. Please add the option to display the minimap in vehicle only. That way the hardcore players choosing to play without a HUD could use the minimap in a more practical way. The minimap would only display while driving and or riding inside the vehicle. It would not be displayed while trekking on foot. Imagine running back to your vehicle to check your GPS for intel. See, that's smart. I think Ubisoft, I know they're probably working on multiplayer right now, but I think Ubisoft really needs to capitalize on the idea of people playing without a HUD and turning this into a more viable option as a military simulator or tactical shooter. Especially since PvP is coming up, I think they need to fine-tune certain things. so they can, like they want to do, which is apparent to everyone now, they can appeal to casual players with all the HUD settings turned on, and they can also appeal to the original fan base, which is what everyone was expecting with this game, which is why it sold so well. So I think they should try to add those extra features in the settings so we can fine tune it the way we want to play it. And I think that's all I have for today, guys. But ultimately, the idea of this video was to convince you guys the HUD needs to be worked on, fine tuned, and optimized. And ultimately, we probably, for the markers, we're probably going to need each individual marker to be able to be turned on and off. And that's all I got for today, guys. Also, I'm going to start featuring your comments. So, since I'm going to start featuring your comments at the end of my videos, don't expect to see them just yet. I want to start getting a good amount of comments on each video, and then the next video I'm going to be displaying it at the end of the video. Okay, so since we're going to start featuring comments every other video now, my favorite comments from videos previously, what we're going to do, I'm going to ask you guys a question, and I want you guys to respond in the comments, and my favorite comments will be featured at the end of the video. You can see it as a shout out or whatever it is you want to see it as. Now, my question for today is, what HUD elements do you guys struggle with and why? Make sure to be as detailed as possible, and at the end of your answer to that question, make sure to say, let me see, hashtag HUD problems. Yeah, that's good. Hashtag HUD problems in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's all for today. And yeah, check out my other shit if you're new here. Deuces.